G'day, I'm Mike Hayes and welcome to Jazz Guitar Chord-melody Part 51. Today our focus will be on triads. And I know you're probably thinking, oh, not triads again, they're pretty boring stuff. But before you start yawning and going to sleep and falling off your perch, just stick around and have a listen to what we're going to be doing today. I think you'll find it pretty interesting. We're going to be adding some melody notes to the top of our triads and also looking at some really cool ways of creating introductions, musical interludes, and endings. It's all very simple stuff, but it's really effective. If this is the first time on our channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified just as soon as our latest videos are available. Okay, there's lots to do today, so I won't hold you up. Let's get cracking. Our first step to combining triads with a melodic line will be to play a C scale in a particular way on the first string of the guitar. We're going to start with the open E, the first string, and we'll be playing E, F, F, G, G, A, B in the first bar, and then B, C, C, D, D, E, E, F. So as you can see, apart from the first and last note, we're doubling up on each note as we're going through the scale. Let's have a listen to that. The next step will be to play triads from the key of C, starting on E minor. So we'll be playing E minor, F, G, A minor, B diminished, C, D minor, and then finishing on E minor again, only an octave higher. Let's have a listen. And now we're going to combine the melodic line, that little scale line that we started with the triads. And the idea is that you'll be playing the melody note as part of the triad. So the first note, E, will be the top note of the E minor triad. And then we're going to play the note F, while the notes in the E minor triad are sustaining underneath. And as you go through, this will create all types of different chords. Essentially, they'll be ninth chords. In some instances, they'll be flat 9. In other instances, they'll just be a ninth. These notes that are being played in between each triad, we're going to call colour tones. And as we're ascending the scale, the colour tone will be between each triad. When we're coming back and playing the scale in a descending fashion, we will play the colour tone first as part of the triad, and then we'll play the appropriate chord tone of the triad. Let's have a listen. Right then, as you can hear, we have a little melodic line starting to develop on the top of each triad. Now let's apply this to some everyday situations on guitar. Let's say we have a 1-6-2-5 progression. Let's have a listen to that firstly, just playing the basic triad and holding it for 2 beats on each chord. And now, using the principle we've just learnt a moment ago, let's add a bit of movement to these triads. Essentially, on the C chord, I'm playing the C triad, then I'm adding the next scale tone higher, which in this instance is the note D. So that's that 9th sound we're talking about. And when I go to the A minor, I'm doing the exact opposite. So I'm playing the B as the top note of the A minor chord, and this creates an A minor 9th sound, and then I'm resolving to an A, which of course is the top note in an A minor triad. Over to the second bar, and I'm repeating the same idea that I did with the C chord, where I'm playing the D note, moving up to the next scale note, which would be E, creating a D minor 9th sound, and then for the G triad I'm just playing a straight G triad. Let's have a listen. Now, before we go any further, the point I want to make is that even though these ideas are very simple, they can really be effective. Let's have a listen to the exact same chord progression and the same bass part, only this time creating different colours by playing different types of triads over the bass part. And as you can hear, by playing various types of triads against certain bass parts, a different type of musical atmosphere is created. And you'll see on the screen at the moment in that example, when a G triad is played against a C bass part, the resultant sound is C major 9th. And that's that concept we spoke about earlier on in the series, where you can play a 6th on the 5th of a major 6th chord. And this concept still works even though we're talking about triads and not major 6th chords. I'm simply playing the 5th of C, which would be the note G. I'm playing a G triad, and that results in that C major 9th sound. Okay, let's have a look at a few more real-world examples for you where you can use triads and this simple melodic idea. Let's say we're asked to play an introduction in the key of C. Now, an interesting thing that I found works really well is that you can borrow chords from a key that is a minor third higher than the key you're working in. Now, what that means is that if we're playing in the key of C, I can borrow chords from the key of E flat. And so on the screen at the moment, you'll see some of our new friends from the key of E flat. So we have triads from the key of C major that can be interspersed with triads from the key of E flat. Here's an example of a 4-bar introduction where I'm moving from the key of C to the key of E flat and then arriving back to the key of C at the end of the 4 bars. Let's have a listen. Can you hear that by moving momentarily to the key of E flat, we introduce that element of surprise? Let's try another example for you. Here's a 2-bar interlude in the key of C. Again, if you're studying the example, you'll notice that I'm moving from the key of C to triads from the key of E flat. And when I'm playing these triads in E flat, the notes that I'm adding in as the melodic line are notes from the key of E flat. Let's have a listen. And how about one more example, this time an ending using borrowed chords from the key of E flat. So there we have it. As you can see, just one simple idea that has a lot of possibilities. I recommend you try that out for yourself. Try mixing triads from the key of C with triads from the key of E flat. There's lots of different options for you there, and I hope it helps you develop your own musical style on guitar. Don't forget, if you have any questions or comments, to pop them in the comments section below the video. And as always, I look forward to catching up with you again next time. Bye for now.